Hello, my name's Jon Lindsay, and I'm going to briefly explain the joined-up model. The reason why the joined-up model was developed was to explore how an organization can change over a significant period of time, recognizing that culture change is just one aspect of a whole strategic plan that encompasses how customers are changing, how technology and enablers for delivering services are changing. So its idea is that you're not trying to develop one dimension of change, but a significant number of change dimensions at the same time, but doing that simply. McKinsey's many years ago developed the 7S model of cultural change, which intuitively is great, but actually is quite difficult to put into practice in terms of strategic change. Quite difficult to remember the 7S's, and they're not necessarily as linked to each other as you would like. The joined-up model is trying to say that every aspect of what you do is linked to another part of your business. Obvious, but actually not often necessarily acknowledged when you're going through a transformation. So quickly going through those elements of the joined-up model, it's based on the idea of three separate stakeholder groups. One which is the owners and sponsors, obviously a for-profit organization, obviously owners and shareholders. The other stakeholder group, customers, clients, beneficiaries if you're a not-for-profit of your services. And the final stakeholder group, very important stakeholder group that gets talked about a lot but actually is brought into this model as very much one of the three dimensions, is the workforce, is the people who actually deliver the work. In a not-for-profit, that could be volunteers. Each one of those stakeholders are wanting something slightly different out of the organisation. Owners and sponsors want performance, financial performance, obviously in the case of a commercial organisation, impact, and all the aspects of the measurement of impact and the measurement of outcomes that is going on in the community services sector at the moment is very, very telling. Customers and clients want a service, but it's not just as simple as that. Obviously they're looking at the whole organisation. When they talk about you as an organisation, it's not just the products and services, the proposition, it's also the values that they see, which is effectively described by marketeers as the brand. It's a brand and how you come across to the marketplace. And finally, the workforce are not just wanting a job these days. One of the things they're wanting is fulfillment, and they demonstrate how they work in the organisation, how they behave, because of two things. Not just telling people how to behave doesn't work. Part of it is about designing a business model that actually creates the environment for people to perform in a certain way, and the values and the espoused values of the organisation. So behaviours come from values and the business model. And if you have if you have great values, but your business model is designed in direct contrast to that, you will never get the behaviours that you want out of it. So those are the three stakeholders. Now the idea is that you can't directly affect behaviours, you can't directly affect the brand, and you can't directly affect financial performance. You have to do that through designing your organisation in terms of its proposition, in terms of its business model, how you do things around there, in terms of your processes, in terms of your reward structures, in terms of your organisation structure and your accountability structure, and also values. And values are really important because people sometimes pay lip service to them and assume there's something separate that you sort of bring in afterwards. They're intrinsically important in terms of delivering behaviours that you expect, and also the brand. Similarly, financial performance does not come just from designing a great product or service, the proposition. It comes from actually having a combination of the proposition and the business model. And the customers see the results from the combination of those values and the proposition. So the inputs, the design of your organisation is predominantly into the business model, into the proposition, and into the values. The outcomes come from having done those correctly. So that's the idea of those 6 intersecting circles, which actually all need to be designed in recognition that they all affect each other. So that's the joined up model.